want to say thank you to God that I'm alive today. I would have been dead and forgotten. 3 years ago, every hospital rejected me. Every hospital. They asked me to go to Ogara or go to Central Hospital. One of my members said, no, you can't go there. Most of the time, when I wake up in the night, she'll be by my bedside. What are you doing here? He says, he's waiting to see whether I'll wake up. I couldn't breathe, I couldn't walk, I couldn't climb staircase. It takes me like 3 hours to climb staircase if I come downstairs. But I'm alive today to see 60.
My name is Bishop Curtis Fianu. I'm the pastor of Church of God Mission, King's Pavilion in Lagos. I was born 22nd of May 1963, and I got saved in July 1977. I went to church because somebody invited me to church, First Baptist Church. There were a lot of beautiful babes in church, so I went to church to look for beautiful babes. But when I got there, the word of God was so strong and so powerful that I forgot why I came to church. And at the end of the service, an altar call was made, and I was the only one that surrendered my life to God. That's how my journey began. 6 months after that, I became a Sunday school teacher. 1 year after that, I became the youth president of that church, and I had good fellowships and good people around that helped me, challenge me to really go deep into the Word of God and to pray. People like Bob Lai, people like Edwin Amu, people like Promise, Ave, they were there, and we had a group called God Inspired Ministry, where I was a part of God Inspired Ministry. So it really helped me to grow so fast. But we did so many competitions in Bible recitation and quoting Bibles. I was always winning awards. I had so many prizes I won in those Bible, competitions that we did. So God helped me. So I came to Bible school in 1990. But when I was coming to the Bible school, I didn't plan to come to All Nations. I didn't plan. It was not part of my agenda. But I saw Redemption Faith magazine, and I saw the advert of the Bible school. So I wrote to find out more about the Bible school, because I've heard so much about our father Benson Idahosa, and I've always desired to meet him. And I've seen a lot of students who went to the All Nation, and they are doing very well. So I desired to be part of it. So I'll see myself teaching and preaching to crowds and congregations. So when I inquired about the Bible school, I just got a letter of admission, and I was awarded scholarship. I didn't ask for admission. I just wanted to know more about the school. And that's how I came to Bible school, December 1990. And I didn't come with money. I didn't have anything because I didn't have anybody sponsoring me. So I came by faith. I didn't know anybody in Nigeria. I've never been to Nigeria before. So I came by faith. But those days I didn't have money for flights. And there was this ship that was running Ghana and Nigeria. So I came by that ship, and then got to Lagos. From Lagos, came to Benin by faith. I prayed, and God led me all the way. We're giving free soap, we're giving free food, we eat 2 times. They give us soap to wash, soap to bath, everything, handouts and everything free. They didn't pay anything. And I became a hostel prefect. And when I did my practicals in Kaduna, actually, when I was about to graduate, I met somebody who came from Ghana, and who followed me to one program. He's a founder of one of the ministries in Ghana. And then when he saw what God did through me, he wanted me to come and work with him. My pastor had said that I shouldn't come to the Bible school. He wanted me to go to Scotland to do a youth program and come back as the leader of Baptist Convention Youth. And I said, no, God is leading me to this school. He said, okay, if I want to go to Bible school, I should go to Ogbomoso in Nigeria. I said, no, God is not leading me to Ogbomoso. God is leading me to all nations. And so he said, okay, if you go, don't come back. We don't need you in this church. So I left. I didn't know where I was going back to. You know, in the midst of that confusion, where do I go to? This man said, come to his church. And then I went to Kaduna to do my practicals. After the practicals, they said, can you stay with us? I said, stay with you. So plenty confusion here and there. And then they came to me to tell Papa to say, look, we need this young man in Kaduna to come and help the work. And Papa gave approval and gave instruction that I should be sent to Kaduna. And I decided to obey Papa. So I went to Kaduna. That's how my journey with Church of God Mission began. In the Bible school, I was working as a houseboy to Reverend Dr. Andrew Daniels and the wife. So I go to their house, I clean the house, I wash plates, you know, mop the house, do some house chores. And every time I go, I walk past a young lady, and we never greeted each other. So we just walk past like that. But if I wake up in the night to go and pray, I always meet her praying. I go to Faith Arena early in the morning, I'll meet her praying. I developed interest in her. So one day I visited her and I said, look, I asked her a lot of questions, and then she asked me, why are you asking me all these questions? I said, no, I just want to know more about you. But somehow, I just had a leading that, look, this is your wife. Why not? So I told her, I want to marry you. She said I should give her 3 months. She would pray. She said, okay, I left. The next day I came. I said, look, I've come back to take my answer. She said, I'll give you 3 months. I said, no, I didn't come here to joke. I came for serious business. She said, okay, let's see how it goes. I was married for 30 years. She has not said yes. She has not said no. But God has helped us. July, we got married, 24th July. So this year will be 30 years in marriage. God has been very faithful.
I've never had it in mind that I was going to get married to a pastor. Never. The two careers that I never thought of was getting married to a doctor and also a pastor, because I wanted to get married to a man that I will have to myself, not the one that I will have to share with so many people. But somehow God knows the best for us, and so I'm enjoying my home and I'm enjoying it.
So from Kaduna, when I was about to marry, Papa brought me to Benin, first to Ekenwa Road. Ekenwa Road, I was rejected. They didn't accept me, so they sent me to Siloko Road. Siloko Road too rejected me. I would trek from Miracle Center. I was staying with somebody behind Bedoni Hospital. I didn't have a house, I didn't have anything. So I was squatting with a friend and no money for transport. I would trek from Siloko Miracle Center, back of Miracle Center, Bedoni Hospital, to Siloko Road to service. They closed service, I walk back because no money to pay transport. And yet I was rejected. They said they don't want me, but I kept going, you know, for about a month plus. In fact, there was no food. In fact, I learned how to eat cotton seed that they used to cook soup, because my friend will use cotton seed to cook food, that soup that we used to eat eba. That's how I learned how to eat cotton seed, because no food. If I don't eat it, hunger will finish me. So I had to learn how to eat it. Sometimes there's no meat, no fish, but we eat it like that. And then go to church. But there was one Christmas day, I closed from church, no food, no water, no drink. And I was in my room and I was like, God, are you sure you called me? Or did I call myself? Somebody will say, did you call God or God called you? Or I missed God's call. But it was a rough time in my life that I didn't have food. God, did you call me? Thank God for my wife. We're not married then, and she gave me food to eat that day. That's how I ate rice on a Christmas day. If not, I would have stayed without food on a Christmas day. January pastor seminar. Papa was introduced to preach and he stood up and he said, he called me. When I stood up, he called Bishop Augustine Okonkwo. He said, from today, I'm his resident pastor. So I was transferred to Sapele without a letter. From Siloko Road, where I was rejected, to Sapele, I became the resident pastor to Okonkwo. I served him with all my heart. I walked, I did evangelism, I did crusades all over Sapele, Ogwanja, all those areas. So many places in Sapele I was doing. Inside rain, inside everywhere I was there, doing crusades, doing follow-up, doing so many things. I served. And Papa moved me to Yaro. And I pleaded with Papa. I said, look, if I go to Yaro, I will die. Papa said, well, I said, there are so many pastors. What am I going to do? I won't even open in prayer for 1 year. I prefer to go to a church where I have one member. I'll be fulfilled and be happy. So Papa said, I should go out. I should go back to Sapele. So I was in Sapele until he called me one day. He said, look, somebody has just resigned. He said, you want the church to go member? Yes. Somebody has resigned. I'm sending you there. And he said, it's a small church, but it has prospects. I was so excited about it. I went to the church on Wednesday. There were 5 people in the church. And the pastor was using a blackboard to teach. The environment was discouraging. I sat there, I was so depressed. Is it the church I'm coming to? And I got up, I was leaving, and the pastor followed me. He said, man of God, are you the one taking one from me? I said, no, I'm not. The environment of the church was not conducive, was very demoralizing. So I went to Kaduna and spent some time to pray, and God said, go back. That's the church I want you to start from. So I came back, on a Thanksgiving day I resumed. After the Thanksgiving, the pastor took all the money. He said church is owing him. So the one that is supposed to go to Benin, he took. The one that is for him, he took. The one for the church, he took all of them. So I started on a 0 level, but God helped us. From there, we started building. One fateful Wednesday, we came to church. The landlord locked the doors, bought another padlock. We're not owing him, but he said he prefers to partition the place and give it to prostitutes because it will give him more money. So he drove us away. We didn't have a place. I ran to the Archbishop, my father in the Lord. And then he took us to his family house in a Honda. It was Benin people build house and the middle is not covered. You see the middle open, then there's a well. That's where we started the church. We moved the church to. The whole place was black, firewood, and mud, red mud everywhere. It was rainy season. It was in a serious mess, but God helped us. From there we built a church, beautiful church. And then Mama came and dedicated the church. After the dedication, I was moved to Yaro as the resident pastor for the second time. So it was my second missionary journey to Yaro. And I went to Yaro as the resident pastor. And we did our little best. I was there for 8 months. And then somebody broke away from Abba Church, Abba Provincial Headquarters, number 53 Okigwe Road. So I was moved from Yaro to go to Abba for a rescue mission. So I went to Abba for the rescue mission. Actually, it was supposed to be rescued to come back. And by 6 months, we had recovered. And almost, in fact, I met 3 people in the church, but less than 6 months, we're already close to 100. Most people that followed had returned. And then Mama said, stay there. And so I became the zonal coordinator. From a resident pastor, I became the national presbyter of Aba. For 6 months, I was sleeping on the floor. I slept on the floor for 6 months. I would trek from Okigoro to Obohil. Multiple helped me many times. But I did that, for a very long time. I was there for 4 years. And from the 6, we built the church to 400. But I removed the roof of the church and started a renovation. And half of the church got angry and left. That we didn't have money, no support from anywhere, and I'm doing this foolish thing. But God helped us that we were able to rebuild that church, and then we roofed the church. How did I do it? On a Thanksgiving day, I noticed that every Thanksgiving, people come to church with goats, cows. That year I said, I don't need cow, I don't need goat. That everybody should buy Cameroon zinc and present to God. So I did too, me and my family, and everybody did. And then I met people who sell things. Give us some credit. We'll pay you every Sunday. So every Sunday we pay after the Thanksgiving, we cleared everything. And people were wondering, how did we do it? And so 4 years, we had built a church, beautiful church, taking the position of the altar, and we're ready to put air condition. And then I was transferred from there again. So I left that church. From 3 people I met, I left 250 by Usher's record.
Bishop Fianu is a great man, very humble man of God, down to earth, giving to service. He came to Aba in 2001, and he was actually here on a rescue mission. And God used him greatly to turn things around for good. His life and ministry affected so many lives, so many families. And we cannot say all that he did, or all that God used him to do. But the truth is that so many lives, families were affected in various forms. And I'm one of the people he pastored, worked with him, and enjoyed his ministry, my family. He wedded us, and his counsel and his lifestyle, together with that of his wife, all the bits of advice at different periods were very helpful and have remained helpful to us today.
This man transformed many lives. And when he wanted to be transferred, many in the church were not happy, and many are crying. He touched many lives. He sent many members into Bible school. And today, many of them are pastors in Church of God Mission, and they are doing well.
So I went to Calabar, we started all over again. They got me a very beautiful apartment, and we paid 600. So 2 years when the rent expired, the man took it to 1 million. I said I won't pay. Instead of giving landlord 1 million, I used it to buy land. So I moved my family to 2 rooms. That we were doing an office complex with a little attachment, 2 rooms. So we moved there, moved all our things to the hall there. So we stayed there for the remaining 2 years. We were able to buy 2 plots of land, built a parsonage. We had completed it, painted within 2 years. We did an office complex, expanded the church because the church was growing. And then we were ready to move in. My children were excited. Then transfer came to Warri. So we didn't stay in the house for even 1 second.
Man who stepped into this bishopric in 2006 and spent time till 2011 living uncommon mark in the signs of time in Church of God Mission. We thank God for the colorful and beautiful life of our bishop. Reverend Dr. Curtis Fianu is a pastor with a heart of gold. We want to thank God for the work that he did in Cross River State. To us as individual, he was a personal pastor. He was a friend. He was a brother. His family and our families were like one. For the entire members of Church of God Mission, he was a pastor who cared all round for members. Family business, family life, finances, academics, spiritual life. He was interested. He was so amiable and so liberal that he was not just a pastor of Church of God Mission. He became a pastor of pastors in Cross River State, a pastor of other churches. And we are out here today not just to thank God for that. We also want to thank God for the special job he did in this place. Not just building the lives and the spiritual life of members, he also delved into serious infrastructural development, leaving behind in Cross River State a 5-bedroom parsonage, the completion of other infrastructural projects, and the renovation of projects within the bishopric headquarters and other headquarters. We want to thank God also that having left Cross River State, his work has not left. He still remains as the beacon of light to this bishopric, to the point that he does all positively to ensure sustainability of the work he started here.
We moved to Warri, and so almost every church I pastored, Honda was the longest, 8 years. The rest 4 years. I moved 4 years. I moved. We came to Warri, and Warri was challenging. We never expected, we never dreamt that we'll ever pastor praise center. It was never an agenda. It was never something that crossed our mind that there's something that will be possible. But God brought us, and we had challenges. We had a lot of challenges, especially when you are sent to a church where the bishop that was there for 14 years is still there, and they send you there. It's a serious crisis situation. You know, every day we have to pray and ask God for wisdom, because I have always seen him as a father. And so I didn't want to start having issue with somebody I call father. So every day I had to pray and ask God for wisdom, how to relate with him. Two, I was also conscious of the fact that he's been there for 14 years. And then because of the challenge, people are sympathetic towards him. You know, and people were emotionally attached to him because of the things that had happened to him. So if I don't use wisdom, I'll create a lot of problem in church. So every day I have to pray for wisdom to manage that situation, to manage, you know, that for so long. And I also made sure that I don't lose focus of what I want to do. I was focused on the things that were in my heart to do, and God helped us. We tried to remodel the church and make it look like a 21st century church, because it was Asian church. It was like, Praise Center is an Asian church, because it's like the next to Faith Arena. You know, that's the only church that has ever hosted national convention. And so it's been an old church. It was built by Papayo, and Diolu came and finished what was done and dedicated it. So it's an old church so we needed to modernize the church. So many things we had to do. We changed the roof. We did new ceiling. We tried to fix all the windows that were broken and amend some places that we need to put windows, to put window, we put glasses, some conditions there. Got 350 kV generator, got another 100 kVA, and then one was in the guest house. Because the guest house was no longer functioning, we added it 60. So we had 3 generators that were servicing us, try to work on the environment, and then acquire properties. We're able to acquire property. In fact, we got a land in front of the church where the Bible school is presently. But people were surprised that that land was there. They didn't know that land was there. But God helped us to be able to acquire it. And then we built a 2-story for the Bible school, for children's church and event center. And then we had 2 flats, 3-bedroom and 2-bedroom for some of our staffs. And beautiful. We called it Margaret. That was a edifice, beautiful. We're able to buy another 6-bedroom duplex that's on Japa Road. And then behind it and beside it, all the lands around that side, we got it for car park. And they wanted to build shops to face Japa Road before the transfer came. So God helped us. We're able to change all the seats in the church from plastic to conference chairs, and the whole place is looking beautiful. And at a point, we became like tourist center where pastors will come around, and look at what we are doing. And we became a standard for many churches. Everybody started changing plastic chairs to conference chairs, put screens, because we had 2 screens in church. And God helped us. God helped us. The church was doing well before transfer came. We were there for 11 years. We were able to buy a land and build a bishop's court in one of the secure places in Warri, the Army Estate. In 5 months, we did from buying the land to completion and dedication of the building. 5 months. It's a massive project, but God helped us that in 5 months we finished. We're able to buy land for churches. We bought properties for churches. Most of our churches, when some pastors are relocating, they want to sell their church, we buy their properties for many of our churches. God helped us. Our men too were very, very effective, because almost every year I give them as an assignment their project for the year to build a church, and they've always done that faithfully. They built so many churches, they built personages. So for 11 years, God helped us. We grew from 11 branches that we had to about 58. So we had to break into another zone. So Warri Zone 4 was created out of the existing new Warri Bishopric, because we had become large. We're the largest bishopric in CGM. So we had to break, and Ephraim is doing well. New Warri is still growing and doing well. We opened so many branches. We opened a branch in South Africa, a second branch in South Africa. We opened a second branch in Ghana. We had a branch in Switzerland, and God is helping us. We're planning to start a church in US and UK before the transfer came.
Bishop Fianu is a father, is a motivator, an astute administrator. He believes so much in developing talents. He has made so many of us in Praise Center from nothing and transformed us into glorious spiritual tools in the hands of God presently. He is somebody naturally, irrespective of what happens, takes every member of the church, not just as member, but as a son and a daughter. He's a father indeed. Bishop Fianu is somebody that does not believe in leaving a place the way he met it. He stayed a few years in Praise Center, and from nowhere, he made Praise Center an epicenter of Church of God mission. He transformed it in every form, spiritually, in infrastructure, in developing talents, in raising men. Because of him, so many people like us that were ordinary brothers not known, he has been able to make us discover the call of God in our lives, and he has posted us in diverse ways, and we are doing exploits because of his input and investments in our lives.
Lagos had a little challenge, and then Mama called me and said, look, I want you to go to Lagos for me. And I had vowed, I can't tell her no. So I had to go to Lagos. Going to Lagos was frustrating. Going to Lagos was challenging. But because Mama said so, some people will call me and say, Bishop, we don't know whether to tell you sorry or to tell you congratulations. Going to Lagos was really, in fact, some of my members in Lagos even will ask me, say, Daddy, why did you even agree to come to, leave here, come to Lagos? But you see, it's about God. It's not about anything. Somebody asked me, say, are you walking away from everything you did in Warrior? I say, yes. Because I didn't do anything for myself. Whatever I did was for God. So there was no emotional attachment. There is no sentiment about anything. So I could walk away because whatever I did for God. And God is not unrighteous to forget our labor of love. So I shouldn't hold on to anything because it was not me, it was God that did whatever he did. So we could walk away. And going to Lagos, like I said, was very challenging, but God has helped us. First thing we did in Lagos was to fix the office so we can have a befitting office. And the office didn't befit the status of a bishop or a bishopric, so we had to work on it. The office, anybody who enters the office now is proud that we have that kind of office in Lagos. And then we decided to also beautify the church. So now Lagos from outside to inside is wearing a new look, so beautiful. We have a screen on the altar, beautiful, bought about 6.5, and we are making progress. The church is growing, we are developing the church, but we are not satisfied with where we are yet. Those people who came to the prophet and said, look, where we are now has become too small for us. The place is becoming tight. We don't have a place for car park, not too conducive. To describe the place, not very easy. So we have decided to bring the church to the main road, to the airport road. We're going to put up Archbishop Benson Idahosa Memorial Cathedral that will give the church a facelift in Lagos and to also give the church visibility.
It's not been easy taking care of moving your children from one place to another. So I think when we were in about Calabar, we decided that I think we will need to do something about this movement, because sometimes when we are moved, the children will need to go back to a new school, trying to settle down in a new school. It wasn't easy. So we just decided that we were going to take them to the hostel. So we will be moving while they are in school. So anytime they are on holidays, they come and meet us. And that helped us. We took them to World of Faith in Benin, and they were all in the hostel. So holidays, they come home. So anytime we are moving, me and my husband are the one who does the movements. They just come and meet us in the new station. So, and that also helped us. And God has been faithful.
I had to be deliberate about making sure that we don't lose our family. Because most pastors are winning the world and they are losing their families. They are so busy and they don't have time. So we create time deliberately to be with our families. Even though it was not easy, but God has helped us to be able to deliberately make time to be with the family from time to time, as much as we can.
It's not easy. Marrying a pastor, that was why I said it's something that I didn't ever want to. It's not easy, and sometimes when they call home with the pressure in the ministry, sometimes they bring it home and share with you. So it's not been easy, but God has been so good. I will say that when God calls you, it's like a ministry. Marrying a pastor, it's a ministry of itself. So God gives you grace to be able to go through it. because you can't tell. There are some things that you can't share. You don't have somebody who you can talk to as a pastor's wife. They should a little be patient, because there are some things that you meet in the journey of being a pastor's wife. You just need to be very, very patient. If not, you will bring in some kind of trouble. For me, I want to advise that you have elderly ministers' wives that you can confide in. Maybe just one. But prayerfully do that, because that's what is killing so many. Because when a pastor's wife, you keep bottling up what you are going through, or the things you see in the line of the ministry, and you don't have somebody to share with, it can harm even your health. So I want to advise that you have someone that you can talk with, open up, tell whatever is going on, because sometimes when you share, you get some kind of healing in what you are going through. So just prayerfully get somebody that you know is senior to you in the ministry that you can rely on. Sometimes you can just go to the person, open up. If it's to share your tears, cry, just do it once in a while, and then you get back to the track again. It's need for us, we pastors' wives, to be educated, because if you are not, I had someone who was always complaining because she didn't have the opportunity. Will I say opportunity, or the husband didn't allow her to go to school. So today, because they've gone so far, she can't meet up. She can't express herself, and then it gives her concern. And so I want to encourage every pastor's wife, no matter what it is, try at least get the basic education, that at least you can be able to express yourself. And then, even if you are not going to work, have something you're doing that you can use to support your home. It shouldn't be everything from your husband. If not, things will go wrong. So at least the little you can be able to add to the man's own will also give that encouragement for him to say, oh, I have a wife who is standing by me.
Well, the things that God helped us to do, there is nowhere we passed out that you will say we failed. God helped us, and there are evidences everywhere we go that God helped us. So we look back and we are so glad for the things we did, the lives we touched. There is nowhere we go to that people are not happy. And people who have passed out for years, they say, oh, we are still missing you, we are still missing you. Our impact in the lives of people gives us joy. When we see people that, like the first church I pastored in Benin and Hondo, many of them were youths, small children. Today, many of them are bank managers. Some are pastors, big pastors. Some are bishops. Some are. So when I see them, it gladdens our hearts. Some are medical doctors. Some are bank managers and things like that. It gladdens our hearts that God could use us from those little beginnings to see most people that were pastors doing well. Some, they should not be in a hurry. To be where we are now is not a day's journey. To every glory, there is a story. So I will encourage them to be patient and walk with God. As God is taking them from one level of glory, they just follow God like that. They will get to where they are. A lot of people are not patient and they want to get to the top overnight. It doesn't happen that way. It takes process. So the process, because when you go through the process and you are there, God is able to keep you. But if you don't go through the process, no foundation, so your fall is heavy. So I will tell them where they are now,
is not the end of life for them. There are better days ahead of them. So they should be patient, and God will take them to where He wants them to be.